Welcome to another Coastin With Quayz coaster review. This is Mark, aka Quayz. Today, I will be reviewing Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion. Twisted Timbers is a Rocky Mountain construction remake of the old Hurler wooden roller coaster located at King's Dominion in Doswell, Virginia. I recently got 3 rides on Twisted Timbers at my first visit to the park. Let's take a quick look at Twisted Timbers stats. Twisted Timbers was manufactured by Rocky Mountain Construction. It features a maximum height of 111 feet with a 109-foot barrel down drop. The overall length of the ride is 3,361 feet with a top speed of 54 miles per hour. It also features 3 inversions, and it was opened in 2018 with a minimum height requirement of 48 inches. RMC did quite the overhaul on this ride. I was never able to ride the Hurler at King's Dominion, but I have been on the Hurler at Carowinds, and that is essentially a clone of this ride. Let's take a look at the layout that RMC created using the existing footprint and some of the supports from the Hurler. From the station, the train dips down and turns to the right before it begins climbing the lift hill. Once at the top, you drop down and to the right just before barreling down an inverting first drop. This moment is so awesome. It is such a unique way to get the ride going, and from here the journey is non-stop. There's a quick airtime pop after the drop, and then you enter a fast, overbanked right turn. The next moment of the ride is easily my favorite part of the ride. Here you fly over 3 back-to-back ejector airtime hills. The hills have some decent size to them, and the airtime is absolutely incredible. I wish that Twisted Timbers featured more of these larger airtime moments throughout the ride. Most of the airtime on this ride is ejector, which is great, but it is achieved through a lot of small, chaotic hills. I feel like these larger hills allow for a more sustained airtime experience while still providing intensity. After these 3 ejector hills, you make your way to the right and enter the second inversion. Inversions on RMCs are always great. They are smooth and typically provide great weightlessness or hang time. There are a few more small, quick ejector airtime hills as you make your way back to and through the lift structure. Here you turn around and begin another lap. The last right-hand turn of this turnaround quickly banks to the left and then to the right. This moment is another favorite of mine on the ride. It has great lateral forces and really throws you into the latter half of the ride. Next, you go into the final inversion, fly through more turns and airtime moments, and then you pop into the brake run to catch your breath. If you've never been on an RMC before, one thing that I will say about them is that they are non-stop, and sometimes you need a moment to process the journey that you just went through once you hit the brake run. I definitely needed a couple of re-rides on Twisted Timbers to fully take in what this ride has to offer. My 3 rides were front row, back row, and somewhere in the middle. It is difficult to say, but I would say that the back row was my favorite. When in the front row, the airtime seemed a little bit more intense, while the back row provided a little bit more lateral force. No matter where you sit on Twisted Timbers, though, you are met with a fantastic ride. I've only been on one other RMC, which was Wicked Cyclone at Six Flags New England. If I had to rank just these 2 rides, I slightly prefer Wicked Cyclone to Twisted Timbers. Wicked Cyclone spends a lot of time going through its own structure, and I think that makes the smaller moments of the ride more meaningful. As I said before, my favorite part of Twisted Timbers are the 3 massive airtime hills towards the beginning of the ride. The smaller moments on the ride are still intense and aggressive, but they are not quite as memorable. I can totally understand why Twisted Timbers is the most popular ride at King's Dominion. It is fast, intense, dynamic, and incredibly smooth. It is not quite as intense as Intimidator 305, and because of that, it makes sense as to why the general public would prefer Twisted Timbers to I-305. With all of that said, I'm going to give Twisted Timbers a final score of 9.5 out of 10. This ride is absolutely fantastic. Twisted Timbers and I-305 are a pretty amazing top 2 coasters at King's Dominion, and both are must-rides in my opinion. I hope you liked this coaster review. If you liked what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, keep on coasting.